Okay, so welcome to this live stream. Um, so guys, we have our August visitor here. I'll let him introduce himself so he can do a better justice at that. So Shaya, you have the floor. Please introduce yourself to the tribers, and then we'll go into it.
Hello, tribers. How you guys doing today? It's Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Um, and I have this, I don't know whether it's a fortunate or unfortunate task to talk about this sort of matters on money and how relationships matter with money. But before we go into that, I'll just introduce myself. My name is Seye Olusoga, and I'm the founder of iInvest, which is a financial services marketplace that allows people to access financial products. So that's the abbreviated version, but brief version of introduction of who I am.
Fantastic, fantastic. All right, so it's good to have you here, Shaya. So we have this very interesting topic that we're supposed to be talking about, and it is my money our money?
Mm-hmm. Tricia, your
So the
money is
funny
my
thing
money.
is, I put it up as a question yesterday. I think there was like over 200 responses, and many of them were on team my money is my money.
Mm-hmm.
Really. So I think the first question I'll ask you is, wait, what team are you on?
Ah,
Actually.
that's a difficult question. I'll sit on the fence for now.
Why are you being political? Are you a politician?
Ah, I'm a politician tonight, so I'm on the fence for now. But for those who are in the gang of my money is my money, you can bring your money over to our invest. We'll invest it for you. We'll give you good products that will help you grow that money fast.
Right. Okay, so but what do you think? So for instance, I think it was last year, there was this story that we read on Instagram where the man just found out that his wife was their landlord after like 5 years. so, so she
Ah,
built the
Tina.
house, she hid it, and then when they needed a place to stay, she got an agent to bring them there and all of that. And then he realized that his wife was the landlord, and it's something that we call like financial infidelity. And this is as a result of my money is my money. I can hide it from you, you hide it from me. So what do you feel like? Do you think that couples need to have money conversations to know, okay, even if the money is your money, but how are we planning together as a family and all of that?
So I think for me, Sha, I think that this kind of topics, there's never a right or wrong answer to it. But I think it also depends on where you and your partner are in life. If you're both starting together, you trust each other, it's important to have those money conversations and know where everybody stands. However, if you're lucky enough, your guy is solid and he's not part of the stingy men association,
Gentlemen
then while we're
Association.
having this conversation, you get whatever you want. So it doesn't really matter. And it's not going to be asking you how much is there or how much is not there. But I guess if it's a question of you just met the person, you really don't know the person that well, you're getting to know the person and you want to settle with the person. I think these money conversations are extremely important, and it's good that you know where each other stands. But again, some parties to the transaction are always looking for financial security, and if they feel that they're not necessarily financially secure, most babes might end up stashing some cash away. So if they need to stash that cash and they don't want anybody to know, it's not in their bank account. They can put it in iInvest. It will be safe there. So that
Right.
Exactly. So we are open
Right.
for business.
Got you. I think for me, I am team my money is our money.
Mm-hmm. So Trisha, are
Yeah.
you sharing it with me? Not just with your partner. You can send some to me. I can send you my money account as well.
No. It's my partner and I. Three is a crowd, please. And I don't know. I just feel like if I have it, you have it. If you have it, I have it. Like it's for us, literally. So I don't do your money is our money, because I feel like, again, that puts a lot of pressure on men, especially those who are not like really financially buoyant, because you are earning, so you're an entrepreneur, you are making money in your business, but somewhere, I don't know if it's society, you feel like, okay, because they said the man is the provider or is the head of the home, so he has to fend. And when he cannot, you see, many men have died in the process, really, trying to make ends meet. So I feel like there should be a balance. Like, if you see that he's really trying, but he cannot meet up, why won't you bring out your money? I'm confused. For the team, my money is my money. You guys should come out and talk.
Well, I'd like to see their comments, but for me, I think that if you are going down that your route of society, and you can also say that the babe is supposed to be your helper. So if she's going to help you by bringing out the cash in those difficult times, all well and good. But I also think that the men should also not abdicate responsibility. I'm a little bit old school like that. Like, you should be able to provide, but don't go and be dying in silence. If you cannot, afford it or do certain things, you should ask for help. That's kind of like my own school of thought. But again,
Okay, so
this whole my money is your money or my money is my money situation, it's also a question of how willing are people to put themselves out there to be accountable to the other partner. Because you can have money, right? But once the money is our money, maybe you wanted to buy something or do something that you didn't want madam to know about, which technically shouldn't be the case, right? It's an accountability problem. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Like, oh, she wasn't aware of it. And those sort of things sometimes cause some level of friction. So even if the guy is steady sometimes, some people still say, okay, he puts me on an allowance. So he might have all of this, he might provide for me, but it doesn't mean I have access to the full 9 years. So it's kind of complicated, So I don't know what you think about that. Would you rather your guy give you an allowance or give you access to the full, the full account?
I haven't thought about that. I think
because it's provided for you. You're not looking for money now. You're all right. Do you understand? You're all right now, but should you have access to the trust fund?
Yes, but I think that even if I wasn't, maybe an allowance would be better, because if you leave me to access the entire account, you just wake up and see that. Somebody had dropped a comment saying our money all the way is just a faulty mindset a lot of women have. If they understand the true meaning of a helpmate, they will know that the help is all right. I agree. I agree with that. And I think it's a societal thing. Because do you see this happen in other societies, or is mostly an African or a Nigerian thing?
I think it's an African thing, I think it's an African thing, not necessarily a Nigerian thing, but more an African thing. I think everybody's happy to go Dutch. Bring your 50, I bring my 50. So I don't know.
So I was asking you guys, like, what team do you belong to? Do you belong to the team of your money is yours because you worked hard for it, or your money is ours, like for you, your partner, your family? What team do you belong to?
Me, like I said earlier, I'm on the fence.
And that's fine, actually. There's a couple of people on the fence. I wanted to know, like, people on the call, what team they belong to. And why? Why do you belong to that team, actually? So somebody says, my money, please. Why? Why? You're in that team, OHR Empire. 1K Jury says, our money gang. Okay. Chelsea perfect, our money. My money is my money. For those that your money is your money, why do you feel like it's your money? Is it because you're the only person who worked for it, so your partner is not entitled to it? Why do you think that? While they are typing, I have a question for you, Shoyo. And it's basically like, what is the role of planning in money conversations? So sometimes I feel like the money is mine because I work hard for it, right? I'm doing this business thing by myself. My partner is somewhere living life on a low in his 9 to 5 or something. I don't know. So I feel like I'm the one who did all the stress. So please, my money is my money. So where is this place of planning for like the future? How can we make our money grow or work for us? Because at the end of the day, we don't have like all our lives to continue to hustle and bustle. So how can we plan for the future with the money that we make now?
Okay, so I think let's put it this way: whether you're on the "My Money is Our Money" gang or you're on the "My Money is My Money" gang, right? Both of you can all bring your money to I Invest, right? Whether you put it in equities or you put it in some other instrument that we're offering where you get better returns, right? Your money will still grow, regardless of the gang that you're in. But I think that planning as a family or as a unit would help. You know, as they always say, two heads are better than one. So whilst you
Mm-hmm.
might think that you're working hard, you're on your hustle, you're on your grind, your partner or whoever is part of this your art team, right, might be able to come up with ideas that could benefit you guys as a unit. Do you understand what I mean? So you might think, oh, I'm working hard, working hard. Meanwhile, your guy that is chilling on the night part might be able to say, if you just did X and Y, you achieve the same objective. Why are you stressing yourself? You understand? So sometimes working as a team is much more beneficial. So I think you should give full disclosure because you could be making some very bad investments. And now that person might be the person that will be able to tell you that, don't do this, don't do this, do it this way. So I think that teamwork is extremely important. I think that transparency, you can keep your money, but I think you should be transparent about it. So it doesn't cause friction. Because sometimes, if it's the guy that is hiding the cash and the babe finds out that the guy had excess cash, she might start thinking that the guy has more money than he really has, and then she might be less considerate. Also, on the other hand, if the guy doesn't know that his wife or his babe has this extra cash, right? The way you react when he finds out something that he had that extra cash, it might not necessarily be the way you would expect him to react. Some might be happy that, thank God you had this. Some might just say, such is life. Others might think that maybe there's some sugar daddy somewhere that you have not told him about. Meanwhile, you were just saving for the family. So these things could play out. So I think that transparency is important. And then we can then decide which way you want to go. Yeah, it's still your money, keep it. It's all right. So.
Right. All right. Fantastic. So I'm just gonna read a couple of comments. Somebody says it's my money, especially when I know my husband's spending habits. So I think that knowing like your partner's spending habits. I think I mentioned this earlier, where I was saying things like, you know what, some partners will just blow the entire money and throw everybody out. So we also need to ensure that we are ready for rainy days. So if you know the kind of partner you have, it helps you plan this whole "my money is our money" thing, your money is my money kind of thing. Right? So guys, do you have any questions as regards money, as regards investment? Do you have any questions whatsoever? Who wants to ask any investment questions? I think I will start while the questions come up. So I downloaded the iInvest app, right? And I looked through it and saw a couple of instruments that I can invest in. Now, I'm not a finance person. I just know from reading, that equities are like good asset classes. Like I just know some stuff. So for someone who all I know is how to sell shoe and bag, I don't know nothing about instruments, stock, bonds, and whatnot. How do I use the iInvest app? Do I need to get a coach or an investment expert to guide me? Because I don't know what I'm looking at on the app. I just know how to sell shoes and bags.
Okay, so I think the simplest way to help those who are basically not investment professionals is to basically, I would say, if you're looking at equities, buy stocks of companies that you like. So meaning that if every day you buy a particular product, let's say, and the product is made by Nestle, and everybody around you keeps buying that same product, I think you should buy that stock because that's where all your money is going to. And if you guys are happy with what they are providing, then you know that they're most likely going to return a profit if it's well run, and then you're going to get a share of that investment. If you're looking for like stable returns and safe investments, as you know, the lower the risk, the lower the risk, the lower the return. The higher the risk, the higher the return. So obviously, the lower risk investments, you put those ones in what you would call treasury bills or fixed deposits, which are fixed term, which are low interest rates or low yield investment. And then there are other ways to hedge your investments, whether it's FX by buying euro bonds, and there are other asset classes that you can actually buy to actually make money.
Okay, so if I hear you right, one way we can go about it is to buy stocks of companies that we like.
Yes, so companies that you use their products daily and you're happy with the
Okay.
way they exactly. Because that's easier for you to tell, right? If you buy something every day, that's where your money is going. So you want some of that money back, right? So what do? You buy that stock, right? Because then you're a shareholder in that company, technically.
Okay, got you. Rotimi asks how do you manage multiple investment portfolios?
So I would say that one, you should look at your overall exposure, right? You can either break them down into asset classes. So meaning that whether you're buying like consumer goods, whether you're buying like banking stocks. So if every day the service you get from a particular bank is not that great, you're supposed to port to another bank whose service you think is good. So that way you know that okay, fine, in financial services, these are the particular companies that you like to hold. So it's like branding, like which brands are good, which brands are not so good. So a sector could be making money, but there'll be some outperformers in that sector. And so based on your experience or interaction with those brands or services will determine how you allocate your capital. Then if you then say to yourself, okay, fine, I have this much exposure to financial services, I have this much exposure to consumer goods. Maybe I want to try healthcare. There's COVID everywhere, right? So then you say, okay, what pharmaceuticals do I think will be able to get the vaccine or will be instrumental in the rollout? And then also COVID test centers. If you can invest in those sort of companies because they have what you call government fiat on their side, which is that they have to do X number of tests. And whether it is you go for those tests or not, those people are actually going to get money, right? Because you have to pay for those tests. So by definition, their bottom line should actually go up. And if you think that after the experience of the COVID scare, there's going to be a lot more investment coming into healthcare, then it's best for you to get in early. Then you also then look at, if you think that the world's going to return to some level of normalcy in the near term, then it means that production is going to go up. So then maybe you want to invest in the energy sector. So when you look at that, you then have you're able to put together a well-diversified portfolio of stocks, and then balance that off with having some cash for emergencies or having some fixed income assets that's okay, I need a fixed return with very little to no risk of default.
All right, thank you very much. So basically, we can also look at like companies that are in demand now and invest in stocks or sectors like the
Sectors,
healthcare.
yeah, sectors. Yeah.
Perfect. This is a little bit woohoo, but what's your take on the Bitcoin investment? Is it still wise to make investment in Bitcoin right now?
So I think that there's a what do we call it? There's a tsunami of change that is going on right now, and when change is going on, there will be winners and there will be losers. I'm not opposed personally to Bitcoin, as it were, but I'm a bigger fan of the technology behind it, which is blockchain. I'm not sure whether Bitcoin is viable in Nigeria, except if they are looking to do it outside the country, just simply because governments don't understand it. And if they don't understand it, it's only natural for them to clamp down on it. And then your money is likely to get stuck somewhere. So I think that the government will do its job as a regulator to protect the financial system. Because if they don't understand something, you're not going to let people to rush into it. So I think there will be a lot more financial education over time. There will be a lot more turbulence in that space with regards to acceptancy. And it might not be Bitcoin that will win, it might be a different version of Bitcoin. It's the same way the world evolved from trading with barter to trading with fiat money. And then we thought that that was normal. And then obviously now people are saying Bitcoin, electronic money is the way to go, which runs on the blockchain technology, which in some shape or form I believe would win. But whether it is in 2 years' time, whether it is in 5 years' time, whether it is in 10 years' time, I can't answer that question. So if you are willing to take the risk, but in future, I think that it's in the end, maybe 5 years from now, I would actually know who the real winners and who the real losers were in all of this. So that's kind of like my position on that.
Okay, time will tell.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Chicken Hop says, what are the risks of investing with iInvest?
I think that the risk of investing in iInvest is pretty much low to zero. I mean, we've tried to reduce that risk significantly. For every investment that is in iInvest, we take out like a fidelity insurance against loss. If you invest in equities, obviously you're exposed to the risk of that company's stock going up and down, which has nothing to do with iInvest. If you were going through any other stock broker or any other investment house. So that's not a risk from iInvest. If we're investing in fixed income, which is guaranteed by the federal government of Nigeria, you lose money if the federal government of Nigeria doesn't cease to exist or doesn't honor its obligation. So those are not risks that are attributed to iInvest. What we as iInvest do is that for every investment that came through us, we take out an insurance to a certain magnitude with a leading insurance company, one of the top 3 insurance companies in Nigeria, and that protects us against, whether it's towards any of those kind of risks. So those are kind of things.
Okay. So pretty much, when you invest in iInvest, it is insured. Investments are insured.
Correct. So your loss is only as a result of if the stock, like if you bought, let's say GTB shares at 35 naira and GTB shares drop to 30 naira. Yes, you lose money. That loss of money is not as a result of you losing money because you traded with iInvest. Do you see my point? That's as a result of that's how the market. And if you're not willing to take that kind of risk, just buy the treasury bills on iInvest, right? And be happy with whatever return that you're getting. I know that if you lose your money there, it means that Nigeria doesn't exist. And this is even if you have that cash under your bed, that cash at that point is worse than Zimbabwean dollars today. So that's basically the situation. So I wouldn't worry about it.
Well, I think on these treasury bills, because I've been in conversations around it where I think somebody mentioned why would I keep my money in treasury bills when I'm getting like 1.7%, 1.3% returns after 90 days, 110 days, etc. Like, is that great use of my money?
Okay, so here's how I look at people who say things like that, right? The question you should ask yourself is, how much risk am I willing to take on my money? If you're willing to take more risk, don't put your money in that. If you think that you're not willing to take that risk, you should put your money there because that's where the government wants to borrow money at that point in time. Now, those same people that are complaining that the interest rates in T-bills are that low, I'll say to them that look, the government is doing that so that lending rates can come down. Because if the banks cannot put their money in treasury bills at high interest rates, it means their profitability will go down, right? And so what they will need to create new asset classes. And how do they do that? They will have to lend more. They will have to lend more money to the public, and by lending to people, by virtue of interest rates on T-bills being low, they can command a much people can then borrow at a much lower rate than they would otherwise have been able to borrow at. So meaning that if let's say T-bills were at 15%, if risk-free money is at 15%, you are then buying what's it called? You're then going to buy what's called other asset classes at a much higher return because you say risk-free is 15%. If I'm risking my money, I want more money for that money that I'm risking. So in the same way, like if you think that the TB rates are low, then basically you should say to yourself, which companies are going to be able to borrow money cheaply, right? Let me take my money and go and put it in those companies because if they are able to borrow cheaply and they have a growth plan, then they should be able to expand at a much rapid pace that they would already have been investing at. And so you should make a lot more return in equity. So what you should see is a flow from T-bills into equities. But if you're not willing to take any risk on any company, just park your money in T-bills and you'll be all right.
Right, I get that. So for people who don't have a risk appetite, just stick to T-bills.
Yes, exactly, because your money is going to be safe. But if you are willing to take the risk, then you should go for higher yield assets, and you can't.
Okay. All right, thank you, Seye. And I have another question for you. It says, will investing in companies in agriculture in Nigeria be sustainable?
I think it depends on how it's done. I think there are ways to do it and do it successfully. I think that the guys that will win are the guys who are what you call, if you're investing in aggregated or aggregation farm end of the spectrum of the value chain, then you make a lot more money. You make a lot more money because your risk is actually reduced. But if you're investing directly in the farmers, then you're exposed to some level of risk, right? Because you don't really have a produce. But if you're able to invest in an aggregator, then the aggregator, you have some sort of backing against some produce. And then that allows you to be able to hedge against the risk because it's an actual asset. But if you're investing in the farmer, then you're exposed to some level of risk, of which, depending on how that risk is being managed, you can still do okay because the government has some nice scheme which allows you to actually hedge against that risk. So meaning that if the people who are selling you that, invest in this farm, are also taking out the nice insurance, where the government guarantees up to 80% performance. They then, as the people who are providing or asking to invest in those farms, can also then get insurance from certain insurance companies to hedge that extra additional 20%. And that way they can almost make it a risk-free, but then the return, because they have to spend some money in taking insurance, might be slightly less than otherwise it could have been in terms of the yield. So I'm pro-agricultural investment, but it depends on how it's done.
Pro, but depending on how it's done.
Yes, you could win or lose.
Okay, there's an I invest question from Empress. Let me just put it. She says, how can someone living outside Nigeria invest using I invest?
I think that if they have, so today, if you have a Nigerian bank account and you have your BVN, you can invest from anywhere in the world and get your money out. We're looking at ways to allow people who don't have BVN to actually be able to invest, whether it's dollars, but we have to get the go-ahead from the regulators. We work under the regulation of the SEC and the CBN to some extent with regards to what is being done. And so we don't want to be one of those houses that tomorrow you hear that CBN is clamping down on you and then we have to start apologizing. So before we do any of those sort of things, we need to get clearance from the regulator to be able to do that, which we haven't obtained today.
Okay, so what should the person do?
So if the person has a BVN, and a Nigerian bank account, they can invest today on iInvest with zero issues. It's only
all right, so Empress. Okay, so Empress, you need to have a Nigerian account to invest using iInvest. Yeah. Okay. That works. I have a question for you, and I think we'll just wrap it up on that. And the question is, so why should I use iInvest? Right? There's other tools I could be using to invest. Why should I invest with iInvest?
It's convenient and it's easy. Exactly. It's convenient and it's easy. That's it now. There's nothing else. The selling point is convenient, easy, and we don't have any hidden charges or fees like that, so it's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
And you can
So
get your money anytime. Most of the other apps, you have specific restrictions around when you can withdraw your cash. With iInvest, you can get your money any time of the day if you have your money in there. So.
okay, so guys, investing with iInvest is great because it is convenient. You can just basically go to the App Store and download it, right? iInvest.
Yep.
And then look through it. So there are different investment opportunities there. You can just like check to see what the yield is and all of that, and decide how you want to invest. If we need to like reach customer service or stuff, where do we go? Is it DM or there's a phone number?
I think the best form is the is to send directly to the iInvest NG. Like if you send it on Instagram, I'm sure that people will respond back quickly on Instagram. I also think that it's the most efficient way because everybody's going to be checking their Instagram. So honestly, so you go you just DM iInvest NG on Instagram. I'm sure you get a quick response to whatever questions or complaints you have.
All right, fantastic. So if you have any questions on using the app, etc., just send a DM to the person who has sent a DM to Twitter. Just send a DM to Instagram, and somebody will definitely respond to you.
Fantastic.
So, guys, do you have any final questions? Because we are wrapping up. And thank you guys for contributing. All the different things. And there was some very interesting conversations that came up in the comment section around why the money. Somebody was saying the money is hard because her husband spends recklessly. So she knows that if she lets him access the money, herself and her children will be hungry. So literally is her money and her children's money. I think for me, the final thing I'll say on that topic is that just it's an agreement between both partners. Like there's no right or wrong answers. There's no right or wrong thing. Just do what works for you and your partner, but have an open conversation. Let both parties be on the same page. Not that you are taking a decision because you have the most money or because you feel you can. Right? Just have a conversation and come to an agreement. You guys are going to a relationship. You're able to sort right? Sort it out. Yeah, so thank you guys. Shay, do you have any final plug for us? Handle, please. Let me type the handle. At iInvest. So do you have any final thing you want to say to us?
I think basically just two ends are better than one, and transparency always helps. That's kind of like it for me. Yeah.
All right, guys. So I have pinned the handle is at iInvestNG. Please follow. Then go to the store and download the app. And if you have any clarifications, issues, questions, go straight to the DM. And if you invest with iInvest already, leave a review on Google now. What's up? What's up with you guys? Like, just say it is nice. I invested. I got my money out. Why you still give your review though?
Well, as I always say, Trish, people only complain when there's problem. If there's no problem, they don't.
Yes.
They chop
like, some people have been typing, "Oh, iInvest is secure. Is this year?" Have you given them a review on Google? Like, if you already use the platform and it works for you, please go and leave a review. If you happen to use it, download it. It is free to download.
iInvest, your partner on the journey to financial freedom.